Hi, I'm Kyle Pennypacker and welcome back to Penny Prepper. Today's video, we're going to be discussing maps and navigation. But before we get started today, I'm going to ask that you hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. And also share with anybody that you think might like the video. So the first part we're going to discuss is why do you need to learn or know how to navigate when you have something like Google Maps or you have the ability to look up directions on your phone or on the computer whenever you want. Well, that's pretty easy because a lot of times if you're out in the mountains or hiking, your phone's not going to work everywhere. Plus, it's a great skill to have in case you do get lost or separated from somebody and you do have that type of scenario where your phone isn't working or you get turned around and you don't know which direction is which. Also, those directions aren't always accurate, or even if you're driving. It's good to understand your general direction to know if you're going east, south, northwest, or even if you're just going like how long until you get to the next exit as far as miles, stuff like that. Now, like I always say, these are beginner type videos, so I'm not going to be going into pace counting or being able to read a map in this type of video. This is just an introduction to maps and navigation. But one of the best things I can recommend is you can start out easily by going on Google Maps. The nicest thing about that is you can zoom in, zoom out. It can give you directions, easier routes. It can give you alternate routes. And you can also, you can tell the distances. There's also ways to tell elevation and elevation changes. It's a great tool to utilize if you're just getting into learning about maps and navigation. Also, a lot of times it will tell you the distance of a walking trail versus driving, stuff like that. It's pretty nice. And like I said, it's a great first step. You can print out the directions and give that a try to at least get some sort of idea what you're doing with maps and navigation. All right, so Google Maps is great and all, but what if the internet goes down or you don't have cell service? Well, that's where physical maps come in handy. And I'm not talking about the type that you print off of Google. I'm talking about a map that you can actually go to the store, purchase, and you have a physical, tangible map in your hand. Great example of that is if you go to a lot of state parks here in Pennsylvania, a lot of them will actually have printout maps and they'll show you distances, elevation changes, and that's a great way to begin learning navigation because they're designed for beginner people who aren't used to reading maps. A lot of times it'll have legends in the corners, and like I said, that's a great way to start learning navigation and get used to those type of symbols, stuff like that. But you can actually buy them for the Appalachian Trail specifically. You can buy them for specific areas. You can buy atlases for areas like a road atlas, and stuff like that is great to have. It can also help you determine, just looking at the map, you can also plan routes and actually mark it down there. So having everything at your disposal that you can typically afford, I would say pre-plan any route you're going to take with Google Maps. Have a physical map with you that you can actually compare and try to figure that out with the compare it to the Google Maps that you may have had, or if you have any questions you can look at it and compare them. But also having your phone and or a GPS, even whether it's in your car or handheld on your phone, that's something great to have. You can also get the satellite phones, sat phones, and Garmin GPS type. Those would be great because they have a direct link up to a satellite, so they can typically make it a little further into the woods. They're not foolproof, but you're going to have a lot better chances of getting service with those because it's not relying on towers. It's relying on a direct connection up above with a satellite, and that's typically line of sight, whereas a cell phone tower, you're going to be blocked by mountains and stuff like that. They only go a couple miles. So one of the things that you can actually go out and get for decently cheap is a small compass. I'm not talking about the ones that are made out of plastic at the dollar store. I'm talking about one that you can get them at Walmart for decently cheap, and they're pretty good quality. If you're looking to actually read a physical map, One of the best ones to get is the clear style. They're typically square. They have a turnable dial, and they typically have a magnifying lens, I believe, and they also have measurement markers as well as a lanyard slot, if not a lanyard as well. But those are great starter compasses. They're not expensive. You can get ones that are hundreds of dollars, but honestly, you don't need all that. You can get them for cheap at Army surplus stores and wherever. But it's really more about being able to measure on that map and compare that to your physical surroundings. Again, this is not the video that's going to get into that part, but that's really what map reading and navigation is about. It's about looking at the map, understanding the size of the map compared to the actual world. It'll actually have a 1 to, let's say, 100,000 or 500,000 ratio on it. And that would be something that you would take those side measurements and actually compare it. And that's how you determine how far something away is. They also do have, a lot of them will have grid markers. And again, that's something else that you can utilize to figure out how far away something is or get a general idea. Now, you're not going to be able to get it down to the centimeter or anything like that, but you can at least guide yourself within a couple 100 feet pretty easily. I keep stressing that with these original videos, these are not the ones that I'm going to actually be getting out into the field and doing the things that I'm talking about. This is the education process. This is the part where I'm telling people the general stuff of what they can go out and do anytime pretty much. You can go out to Walmart, buy a compass, buy a map, and start plotting stuff out. You can watch YouTube videos on how to do it. But this is giving you an introduction to getting ready for the physical parts. So as far as that goes, if you're able to go out and let's say you have part of the Appalachian Trail near you or a state park, go out, grab a map from one of the state parks, get a compass, and try to compare the ratio that it has listed on there to the map and try to figure out the size differences. And it should be a good introduction for yourself. But as far as navigation goes, don't treat it lightly. You should always try to stay somewhere that you have self-service just in case you don't have the option of figuring it out. You don't want to get lost in the woods in some park that's hundreds of square miles and getting lost and maybe never being found. If you're looking for a quick, fun way to get into navigation and learning how to utilize GPS and maps, stuff like that, I would highly recommend looking into and getting into geocaching. That's basically utilizing coordinates, stuff like that, to find items that people have cached out in the woods or wherever, even in cities. And you utilize the location that they leave behind or the clues that they leave behind to find that location, utilizing coordinates or numbers. It's pretty interesting. I've never done it myself. Not really my type of thing, but it's a great fun way to get into navigation if you don't know how to, and it's a nice little pat on the back when you do find stuff. So what I'm going to challenge everybody to do that is watching this video right now is to go to your local state park, especially if you're in Pennsylvania. I know that they have maps everywhere. Go to your local state park. Take a picture. That they typically have a picture of the state park before you enter any trails. Take a picture of that, and then try to take a little bit of time and inspect that map. Notice that there's grid lines, there's legends telling you certain marks mean certain things, and really study that map as much as you can, and then take the map home that they have there. If you want to go a step further, actually purchase a map at the store. I know a lot of places like Cabela's, Sportsman Warehouse will have them. I have a collection for the Appalachian Trail that goes through Pennsylvania. It's a couple different ones, but you can buy whole packs, and it's pretty neat. You can actually just put it down on your coffee table, and take a compass, one of the clear ones. You can actually map things out and figure it out pretty well for yourself. However, it's good to always reference some actual material. If you want a quick, easy way to learn all this stuff, getting Boy Scout books, again, I know I keep going back to Boy Scout stuff, but it's because it's really simple and it's quick and a fun way to learn how to do stuff. All right, that's all we have for today's video. If there's anything you would like to see me talk about in the upcoming videos, please comment and let me know. Stay safe, stay prepared.